Hi, welcome to the OU. So with the OU we do follow the O with the dip, but carry on the dip until the wire goes up vertically. Now the left hand side of the top of the U here, we make a forward crimp and try and keep that top of that doubled up section there level with the top of the O. Now I make the gripping that doubled up section at the top there, I make a freehand semi loop, semicircle, and bring it into the U shape, and then the right hand side of the U is just a backward crimp level with the top of the O and the left hand side of the U. And now bend it to the right, level with the baseline, and there is the OU combination. Combination O and V. So we come off the top of the O there at that angle downwards, and we make a very, using the tip of the pliers, we make a very sharp semi loop, semicircle, and then now I'm gripping the bottom of that with the tip of the pliers and just bringing it around so that it points up to about 11 o'clock on the clock face. And now I grip that angle section with the pliers there and make a forward crimp so that that now doubled up section to B is level with the top of the O. So now we can crimp it. Just make sure here that it's looks uniform. So now the wire is pointing down to about 5 o'clock. So what we do now is level with the baseline and the bottom of the O. We make an angle bend, another sharp angle bend with the tip of the pliers here, and then bring the wire so that it faces up to about 1 o'clock on the clock face. And you can see the V shape. And now level with that left hand section of the V, we now make a backward crimp. And at the bottom of the V now we make a right angle bend to the right, to the baseline. And now the usual just small corrections to make sure it looks fine and everything's level. And there is the OV combination. Combination O and W. So like the U, we do the exact same first movement, making that sharp vertical bend upwards there. Now level with the top of the O, we now make a forward crimp. This is the left hand portion of the W. Now we grip the wire with the very tip of the pliers just below that vertical section and level with the bottom of the O and the baseline. We make a narrow semi loop so it faces vertically, and now we make a backward crimp. This is the middle portion of the W, and usually I don't take it all the way up to the top. Don't know why, that's just habit, but it looks okay. So the right hand section here, I just mirror image the left hand section, but the backward crimp here should, that top of that right hand section should be level with the top of the extreme left hand section of the W. Okay, now that doubled up section there, make sure it's The wire is going behind the vertical section there, so it's hidden. And now finish off to the baseline, make a right angled bend, to the right there, level with the baseline, and there is the OW. Hi, and welcome to the OX combination. Now this is probably one of the hardest combinations to do from the O. So what I do here is I come off the O midsection, and then just after that bend, horizontal bend to the right there, I now make a sharp bend downwards, and it's going to go down to the left. So it's kind of like opposite what a V was or is. So now grip the wire just level with the baseline and the bottom of the O there. So we make a forward crimp. And this is going to be the part of the X that goes from the bottom left hand corner to the top right hand corner. So here we make a crimp. Okay, now level with the top of the O, and just after that doubled up section we make a backward crimp. This is the top right hand part of the X. Now we don't crimp it all the way, just close the gap. Now grip that doubled up section and then make a very sharp bend up to the left. This is going to be the other cross section of the X. Now this part, sometimes it's hard to get it level, so it all looks uniform. So anyway, here we make a forward bend, very sharp again, and then just use your hands to maneuver that so that it looks correct and it's not out of proportion. I'm going to close the gap a little bit there. More adjustments here. Okay, so I'm happy that those are all in proportion now. So I bend the wire off to the right, level with the baseline. And there is the OX. How it looks from the top as well. Hi, welcome to the OY combination, and we repeat what we did with the OU here. So we make a very sharp bend just off the center of the O there, upwards. And then we make a forward crimp, level with the top of the O. Okay, so just like the U, now we will grip the wire just below that middle section there with the tip of the pliers, and then bring the wire around for a semi-loop counterclockwise. So we end up with the OU shape. And now the backward crimp, level with the top of the other previous section there. Now I've made the right section a little higher there. So what I do is I widen that U shape slightly so that it ends up roughly the same size at the top there. And then we go below the baseline and we make a 3/4 loop clockwise, and take the Y behind the Y. Okay, as usual, just the small adjustments here at the end. And there we have the OY. Hi, welcome to the final combination of the O series. So this is the Z or the Z. And what we do here is we make the dip as per normal, and now level with the top of the O. We just bend the wire to the right there until it's horizontal, and then we group the wire at the top, and then we make a semi loop clockwise and bring it around so that it's the bottom of that loop, semi loop, is going to be level with the baseline and the bottom of the O there. Now we grip the wire at the bottom there, and this becomes the midsection of the letter Z or Z. Because this version of a Z goes below the baseline with the tail, so we now grip that doubled up section from that forward crimp that we just made. And we're going to make the bottom half of the Z at below the baseline, and now we just shift our grip there so that we make a 3/4 loop that takes you behind the structure and level with the baseline, and that is the OZ or OZ.